So welcome to the Akira Jersey Triathlon for the year. I'm Mike, I'm race director for the day, and this briefing is for the standard, including the relay and the Aquabike. So the slide for everything, so I'll be guiding you through just to the specific points for this briefing. So to start with the timings, on Saturday, pre-race day, for the race pack collection. For people on this briefing, standard distance, relay, aquabike, your race pack collection and bike check is from 10:45 to 12:45 in the marquee, which is in the car park, the big car park, the Jardin de la Mar waterfront car park, in the usual place at the sea end of the car park. If there's any reason why you need to use a different one, Hannah will be able to tell you what to do. Which is a good point for me to say what I should have said at the very beginning, which is if you have got any questions, type them into the chat. And then we'll run through them at the end, or unless Hannah makes a comment and interrupts because there's something topical to pick up on a written question on any particular slide. So use the chat function to ask any of your questions. So, and the bike check is also at the race control by the big marquee. There'll be the bike check gazebo, and stand in the line of bikes unless you're lucky and there isn't a line of bikes. And the boys from Big Maggie's will be checking over the bikes, and they'll be putting a little coloured sticker on your bike to demonstrate that they've checked it over and that it's roadworthy. And then that coloured sticker must be on your bike when you bring it into transition on Sunday morning. So you must get your bike checked the day before the race, before the race. Otherwise, we'll have a problem getting you into transition. Also tomorrow is the race pack collection, and then this is the time to check that you are either a British Triathlon Federation member, or that you've purchased a day license when entering the race. So if you're a member of the BTF, you must bring your membership card with you. In fact, you don't actually need that because you can actually log on to your account. And it's stored in there, so you could just show that on your membership on your phone. If you purchased through Race Nation, that data has been passed on to the BTF, and so you are covered on the race. So the day licenses run through the BTF on the day. If you've done neither, we can't sell a race license on the day, so you'll have to log on and join the BTF for the race license for the day tomorrow. So that's just something that some administration that you just need to be sure you're up to date with before we go before we get through during Saturday, before we go on Sunday. So that's the insurance cover, and that is the most important thing with the race packs. Everything else will be through your race number at the little desk, which will have your chip and you'll get your t-shirt and you'll get all that stuff before the at that time that we're saying 10:45 to 12:45 for this people on this call.
I'm just going to jump in 1 second there, Mike. So this year, most of you should be aware, t-shirts are an additional. So people have pre-ordered their t-shirt and they will be within your race pack. If you have not ordered a t-shirt but would like to order a t-shirt for post-event, please come and see me in the marquee and I can sort that out for you.
Super. Right, moving on then. So the timings for Sunday, the big day. So 7 o'clock will open transition. Race starts a little bit later than it has been in previous years due to the tide. So we a little bit less of an early start. 7 o'clock transition will open. And we'll then close transition at 8 o'clock whilst we then start getting ready for the swim. And then so that leads us to the call for the swim, which for this race, so we'll be called to the transition area, the swim transition area, at 8:05, and then drift across into the swim funnel at 7 minutes past 8, to be moving on down to the beach at 10 past 8. So just getting closer to the start now at 8:30, which on the next slide. So there we go. So we've got 2 waves for the race start: 8:30, followed by the 8:31. Next slide, I think, shows just a little bit more about the waves. The wave starts. So the cut-off times. So we've got an hour and a quarter for the swim. Cut-off time for the swim 9:45, and then the bike. Hour and 55 after that maximum time. So reasonably generous. But then the total cut-off time for the race is 4 hours at 12:30. Obviously, if you're close to the cut-off time on the bike, that's going to be a tight one for the run. We're not going to start pulling people off the course. What it would mean, though, is after that time, there will probably, we can't rely on marshal coverage. So that will be continuing with our ceremonies and organisation in accordance with these times. If you still want to we'll finish the race and you're behind that, we'll be keeping an eye out, but we can't guarantee that there's going to be marshal coverage. So we please bear that in mind. And then this is an important slide, I guess, for this year. The weather, it's incredible. If you're sitting on the beach, it's more troublesome. Makes the race a little bit more demanding. It's going to be a very hot day. We're starting at 8:30. It's going to be pretty warm already by then. You're going to have been hanging around in your wetsuit, which keep open till the last possible minute. Get in the water as quickly as possible to stay cool in the water beforehand as well. Just a few comments. I'm sure many of you are very experienced triathletes and understand a lot about hydration. But so we don't have water on the bike course. We have water only on the run course. And sponges and things. So you really have your hydration in your own hands. You highly recommend a double bottle or more on the bike. Really get your fluids in on the bike. It's much easier to take fluids in whilst you're riding than to be relying on taking water in during the run. Have an extra bottle in transition to have a good swig whilst you're in transition before the race as well. And also tomorrow on Saturday, keep yourself well hydrated. But I'm sure you'll all be, a lot of you will be very aware that just be careful drinking. You need to drink a lot of fluids, but make sure you're not just flushing too much pure water through you, and that you're not then just flushing away all the sodium, potassium that needs to be in your body. So when you are drinking tomorrow, topping up, put a couple of tabs, high five, whatever you use, in the bottle that you're sipping from all day long tomorrow to keep your electrolytes up. So start focusing on your hydration from tomorrow, but be careful not to drink too much pure water, because that can be dangerous as well, because you're just flushing out the electrolytes. So yeah, take care with your hydration, and look after yourself in that respect. More on transition. So transition, assembly only slide opens at 7, closes at 8, and we'll all be in transition at 8, ready to move to the swim funnel. When you come in, we'll be checking your helmet, make sure that your straps are effective and tight enough, and not too loose, on entry into the transition. And also we'll be checking that bike check sticker is on your wherever they choose to put it. I'm not sure exactly where it'll be, but it'll be the same on everyone's bike, and it'll be a recognized color. In transition, it's quite congested. Only competitors allowed in transition, and we need you to remove all your bags and your buckets out of transition before the race. So get those back in your car or into the bag drop in the event marquee at the car park. Then transition will reopen after the race. After the race by me. Once all the competitors have completed the bike, we can't have people deracking their bike while we still got because there will be people that have finished the run or finished the shorter races, whilst bikes are still coming through into transition. If you do have a ferry or some other travel arrangement and you need to get through earlier, have a word with Hannah. And we'll make sure that we'll do it again. We'll probably rack you in a separate area or something, a specific area. But we have a plan for people that do need to get in earlier because of their travel plans. But Hannah will be able to sort that out. And then, so just to give a view of transition, I'm sure some of you are first timers. Many of you are old hands, I'm sure. So just talking through this one, will come from the Swin Inn. Who made this slide? I wonder. Must have been me. So out of the swim, up the steps, and then the funnel will be impossible not to follow through around what will be on your to the right of transition as you come through, and you'll come into transition. Get to your bike. It's reasonably congested in there, so make sure you've got a good mental picture before you go in for the swim of where your bike is, how many racks down, your coloured towel, whether you're using your coloured towel. But there's about eight or nine racks, so it's easy enough to miscount and lose where you are and lose a minute trying to find your bike. So get your bearings before you go in. You're going to go to your bike once you've racked, de-racked, once you've wetsuit off, and I should say actually wetsuits will be optional. We're in that temperature range where wetsuits are optional, so many of you probably might not even wear a wetsuit. But when you're ready, got your bike, I'll come back to that in a minute. Then bike out is the opposite end of transition that you come in, and you'll take your bike out that way. We'll talk about the bike course in a minute. At the end of the bike course, you're coming back in the same way that you went out, back into transition, through transition, and run out is where the swim comes in. So when you come in the morning, you'll see the yellow signs: bike in, swim in, bike out, run out. So get your bearings in the morning when you come down there, but that gives you an overview of how it's set up. So onto the swim, talking through the courses now. So I said, you call through to the start in your waves by race type. So this briefing is going to be the first lot off. We have two colours of hats, and I don't know what they are, but they will be for the wave 1 and wave 2 of the standard distance swim course. So be with your correct wave.
On that, Mike, wave 1 will be a red hat and wave 2 will be orange. They are already inside your race packs. If you believe you've been given the wrong hat, please see me tomorrow when you collect your race pack.
Excellent. And it's a 2-lap course for the 1500-meter standard distance swim. It is going to be yellow boys will be marking it. There will be 4 yellow boys in an oblong box, and a 5th turning boy. It's an anti-clockwise swim, always on there with the boy turning on your left shoulder. The start line, bottom of the slide, heading out, past two boy, turn out to the second boy, turn left, swim across back towards the breakwater, turn left again, back down, and then the 5th buoy is the bottom part of this whatever shape 5-sided shape is, penta something. Turn around and start out on your second lap. Not sure exactly what the depth of water is going to be. We've got to predict that. We'll try and make it such that it's a swim. It may be that you can touch the bottom if you want to have a little walk, but it'll be reasonably deep, that turning point. So it should be a swim for the whole 1500 meters. No Australian exit. And then on your second lap, it's a case of coming straight in, to the finish. So there's no marking buoy other than straight up to the steps where there will be people guiding you and pulling you out of the water, because the water will be lapping on the steps. But there won't be any swell. It's going to be calm. The wind's coming from the east, so the water is going to be pretty calm at the bottom of the steps this year, unlike last year. So that's the standard distance course. It's on, and that's which is on the left hand side. There's a little photograph of roughly what it looks like. So you're heading out adjacent to the breakwater marina, pretty much out towards the castle and back in. So the swimmers on this photograph, they're on their way in, and they'll be, when we're out there, we'll have lifeguards, kayaks, and boat cover. Listen to them, take any instructions. If they tell you to do something, tell them to do it. Obviously, make sure you're getting round the buoys, no corner cutting. And it's the faster swimmer's responsibility to avoid the slower swimmer. No argy-bargy, pulling people back, kicking them intentionally, pulling their goggles off. None of that. If we see that, it's a DQ, and we'll somehow find you. And I say, thinking about the position in the water, the currents, we're going to be swimming pretty much on high water, so it'll be quite slack. Shouldn't be many currents, but there will be. So keep an eye that, make sure you're not being drifted too far off towards St Albans or whichever way it might be going. So focus on your sighting, stay with the pack, be careful, and focus on swimming the shortest possible distance. If you do get into any trouble, the protocol is to roll onto your back, raise your arm, and somebody will get to you. And then when you get back into transition, up the steps and into transition, don't just chuck your wetsuit and goggles all over the place. Get them neatly behind your rack, because there's going to be a lot of people coming through. It's quite congested. So respect for the other athletes, please, and keep your area tidy. And then when you're in transition onto the bike now, so first rule, helmet on first before you're allowed to touch your bike, and de-rack and take your bike, wheel your bike out of transition down to the mount line, which will be clearly marked, a sign, and a chap with a flag, and you mount after the line. The course is really well marked, arrows all the way, and it'll be marked by about tomorrow lunchtime. So if you want to just spin around the course in the evening or in the afternoon tomorrow, you can do. Apart from the area on the avenue that is closed roads on Sunday. So obviously that's the only restriction, but you get around the course tomorrow. And then when you come back in, dismount before the mount line, rack your bike, take off your helmet, get your shoes on, and change your shoes, get your running shoes on. Simple as that. The couple of points to note on the bike. So stay on your side, never cross the road. We'll be looking for that. It's really white line surfing, getting over the side. We're looking at DQ there. It's an open roads race, so the rules of the road come first, not your racing, unfortunately. And littering, we've really got it. We get a lot of support from the community to put this race on. We don't want to blow it for future years by throwing our gel wrappers. If you get them up your shorts, up your trouser leg, down your top, but anywhere but on the road behind you. It's a non-drafting race, so that's your 10-meter gap. We'll be looking out for that, for penalties. And if you are overtaking, just give a little warning on your right, on your right to the bike in front, that you're going past, so they know you're coming. If the marshal gives you an instruction, it's for your safety, so take heed of it and listen to them. So always listen to the marshals. And if there is an incident, you have a responsibility to stop to assist the marshals. If it blows your race, tough. You got to think of the other competitors. And we can, if necessary, we can order some. We can organise some compensation if in those situations. So, but there's a lot of marshals out there, and hopefully it's nice and dry, so it should be okay. Couple of things on the bike course just to mention. Just be careful when we're going down Route Orange after some brellards through the lights there, which will be guided through. Won't be so there. There's some raised crossings at Lemoy School, and then the junction at the Lemoy at the Le Pelont down Le Pelont is always a bit sketchy with could be quite a bit of traffic by 9:30, 10:30 in the morning. And then obviously the coming down the hill, the little pond hairpin. So if you're not familiar with the course, it's good, do have a spin out there. It's good to get familiar with it tomorrow. And then up the other side, those of you that have done it before or local riders will know that as we come down towards the top of Latac Hill, down past Les Landes, we go all the way to the sharp bend, the sharp junction at the top of the hill where the bench is. We don't go through the cut path, through the cut through that cyclists tend to go through. But it's all signed. There's a marshal, so just go down there until you got the marshal, and take the steep little rise after the sharp bend. One thing to mention then, near Vanchelay Manor, just after you've gone past the turn off to Plemont and you've gone through there where the big construction project is at Vanchelay Manor, there is some work, and so which is not affecting the road, but it's narrowed it slightly, and we've got some keep left signs for a reason. So if you see the keep left sign, keep left, because there's a narrow road and cars coming the other way will be forced a little bit more central in the road than they would otherwise be because of these roadworks. So if you see the keep left sign, please keep left. And then the final thing on the back is when you come down to Belroyal, we've got to cross the road. There's honorary police there. Follow their directions. They'll be trying to take you through the round on the actual road through the bus lane, rather than across the pedestrian crossing in the middle of that four-way kind of junction. And then when you get onto the avenue, stay left until directed by a marshal to cross over to the right to go back onto the wrong side of the road for the run-in home. So there'll be marshals there, honorary police there, giving you the bell, but stay on the road and stay left until advised to cross at the Burger Bar crossing kind of thing. And then on the run, come through, dismount before the line, put your bike on your rack before you release your helmet. Leave your kit all tidy and set out on your run. And have another drink from the bottle that you have taken advice from me and left a bottle or two in transition to get yourself ready for your run. I'll run on this 4 laps. Get your wristbands each time. So when you've got 3 wristbands, you can do your last lap and finish. We've got water stations on the course. We've got a litter discard zone. Please use that. And we've got a sponge box, and then a sponge tipping zone as well, sponge tipping bucket. So please don't chuck the sponges all over the course. You stick it down your jumper and down your suit and take another, load it up with more water next time you come around 2.5K later. And that's it, then finish, do your celebration. The timing chips are not disposable. And so we will be taking timing chips off you. As you come out of through the finish line, little gazebo, there'll be buckets for the wristbands, for your 3 wristbands, and there'll be a bucket for your chips. If you don't put your chip back in, we'll know, and Hannah will charge you a tenner. So they'll be trying to remind you, but the chips this year are not reusable. And then transition will open as soon as possible. I said rather it'll be sooner. And so yeah, please respect that. And then prize giving at 12:30, 1300, 1 o'clock in the main marquee. And that is it. We've got a few minutes if there's much in the chat.
There's just a couple of questions regarding relay. So someone's asked whether their runner has to get to transition before 8 o'clock, like the other 2 relay members.
No. So once everyone's out in the swim, then the bike people can. So we have a lot of space in the top corner for relays. So you can, because you're a nice close knit team, but not essential. No. So if you're relay people, you can come into transition during the race to hand over your person to your person. It's one chip per team. So the chip is your baton. So you have to change your chip over.
Yes. So
are they ankle chips? Are they?
Yeah, the chip does go around your ankle. So for
left ankle.
For your relay runners, you do need to pass that chip to your next, to your cyclist, and then to your runner afterwards.
Okay.
One other thing, Mike, to mention on the race packs is hopefully no one does, but please don't wear your race bib into the swim. Please have it on either safety pin to your t-shirt or on a race belt so that you can pop it on before the cycle.
Yeah, race belts on the back for the ride and on the front for the run, unless it's pinned, in which case it's on the back.
Someone said, will there be any assistance with race day punctures? I believe there will be.
Um, in transition beforehand, if that were to happen, yes, because the big Maggie's boys, they're out on the course. No, you're on your own on the course.
Someone said about transition, the space and transition for their stuff. What sort of stuff?
So yeah, so we need to take all your transition, all your stuff out of transition, back to your car or to the bag drop, except your towel, your running shoes, your bike shoes, your helmet, your bottle, your gels, and anything else that you got there. But all your t-shirt, your tracky bottoms, your baby oil, your powder, all that stuff needs to be in your bag and back out of transition.
Someone else has asked where on the run course is the water stations. So it's kind of just as you come out of the transition, it will be up on your right.
Yeah, it's basically start of each lap. So right at the start. So the water in the power stations is after 2.5K, 5K, and 7.5K.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we will, because of the heat, have an additional sponge squeezing station around near the Radisson for anybody who needs a bit of a cool down halfway through their laps. Just working through. Someone said, where exactly is bike check? So bike check will be in the big Maggie's marquee, which is located next to the main marquee. So if you come to the Jardin car park, you'll see a big white marquee where you collect your race pack from, and then you'll have big Maggie's marquee where they'll be doing bike check. You can have your bike checked before you collect your race pack if the queues, work better that way. You don't need to collect your race pack first. Someone said, for the relay event, how do you tap to your next team member? So for the relay, for your next team member to start their leg, you need to remove the timing chip from your ankle and pass it over to your team member, and then they will tie that around their ankle, and then they can head off onto their leg. Can your position be tracked live during the race? So we don't exactly have live tracking. If you do have the Race Nation app and you are going to cycle and run with your phone, you can turn tracking on there. And we do also have mats in and out of transition which track your time, but there's no live tracking on the cycle or run course. For relay, will the cyclist and runner be able to enter transition at any time?
Yeah, we covered that one. Yeah.
But just make sure they're there ready and waiting for when you're coming into transition so that you can change over. Someone just asked Mike if you can quickly flick back to the transition slide. I think the bike in, bike out.
So the top right-hand corner of the transition area there is where the relay racks are going to be. So that's a bit of space there for relay team members to chill, congregate, get ready, wait.
Someone's asked whether there's changing facilities in transition. So there's no set changing facilities, but there will be 2 portaloos in transition. So you're welcome to use those toilets during your race. Someone said, can we use bone conductor earphones for the run? Yes, you can. If you want to run with earphones, you can. It's also, the run is all enclosed, so there's no traffic on the run. So you can wear headphones. Someone said, do you have a link to the slides? Yes, so this slide and the briefing's been recorded. It will all be emailed to you either later today or tomorrow morning.